Hello and welcome to this week's Tech Talk. A couple of months ago here we looked at three of the top-end smartphones on the market at the time. The HTC One M8, the Sony Xperia Z2 and Samsung's Galaxy S5. Now while all of them came with cutting-edge technology and premium build quality, they also came with a hefty price tag, which means they weren't going to be attractive to everyone out there. But these days there's no need to spend so much money on smartphones. There are a lot of budget smartphones out there, and today we're going to have a look at two which are at the complete other end of the spectrum. First up is the Motorola Moto E, which costs just £80, and secondly we've got the colourful Lumia 630 from Nokia, which costs £99. And today we're going to look and compare these two to see which is the best budget smartphone for you. While these phones clearly don't make use of the premium materials used in high-end smartphones, it doesn't mean their design is terrible. The Lumia 630 is a well-designed and compact phone which comes in bright green and orange colour options which are attractive and work well with the colourful Windows Phone interface. On the other hand, the Moto E design is not very inspiring, and unlike the colourful Lumia 630 is only available in black and white. However, its compact size means it is easy to hold and use in one hand. The Lumia 630 is a 4.5-inch screen with a pixel resolution of just 480 by 854 pixels, and even by budget smartphone standards it is a poor display. The low resolution makes everything a little blocky, and there is a significant area of dimming along the top of the screen, which is really noticeable on white backgrounds. The Moto E's 4.3-inch display has a slightly higher resolution of 540 by 960 pixels, and combined with a slightly smaller screen, everything looks that bit crisper. This is far from a great smartphone screen, but considering the price, it is very usable. Neither of these phones are powerhouses, but the Moto E, despite having what on paper seems like a slower processor, is a much better performer, showing very little lag and only really showing its limited specs when pushed to play graphics-heavy 3D games. The Lumia 630 on the other hand is noticeably slower when navigating around the Windows Phone interface. It's not terrible, but it is noticeable that loading websites and opening apps is just that bit slower than on the Moto E. The Moto E runs an almost untouched version of Google's Android, and this means you get full access to the hundreds of thousands of apps in the Google Play Store and an interface which has come on leaps and bounds in recent years. The Lumia 630 is the first phone on the market with Microsoft's updated Windows Phone 8.1 software, bringing with it a slew of new features, including a notification center, more customization options, a much improved keyboard, and of course Cortana, Microsoft's answer to Siri and Google Now. While Windows Phone 8.1 is much improved, there are still some shortcomings, and for now Android remains a better all-round bet. Both these smartphones have 5-megapixel cameras on the rear without any flash. As you would expect, neither camera is great, but both will do in a pinch. Both phones also lack front-facing cameras, which thankfully means less selfies, but also means no video calling. So, which should you buy? Well, at the end of the day, it all comes down to personal choice. The Moto E seems to tick a lot more boxes, but for me, the Lumia 630 with its colourful design offers something a bit different than what you get from other smartphones. Sure, the number of apps available isn't as good as it is on Android, but Windows Phone 8.1 is a big step forward and it's getting better all the time. That said, the performance and the intuitive interface on the Moto E is excellent, and at £80 is just slightly cheaper than the Lumia 630. At the end of the day, these both offer really good performance for a price under £100. But for me, if I had to choose, it would probably be the Lumia 630, just because it's something a little bit different in the smartphone market. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to tune in to ibtimes.co.uk/technology for all your news and reviews.